You know, in the world of Premier League football, we've got these incredibly powerful predictive models. They can crunch thousands of data points to tell you who's probably going to win a match. But what happens when all that clean, predictable data smacks right into the pure, beautiful chaos of the real world? Okay, let's get into it.
This quote right here, it just perfectly captures what we're talking about today. We're diving into this amazing battle. On one side, you have the most sophisticated algorithms, and on the other, you've got the raw, unpredictable elements. It's a story about numbers, yeah, but it's also about mud, wind, and just the glorious messiness that makes football so great.
All right, so let's meet the star of our show, Spectra Technology. And listen, this isn't just one predictive model. Oh no, it's a whole collection of them, each with its own special skill, all working together to try and make sense of the beautiful game.
Now, the really cool thing about Spectra is that it doesn't just rely on one opinion. It's what's called an ensemble. You've got the Poisson model obsessing over goal frequency, you've got random forest and XGBoost trying to pick a winner. There's even a neural net in there sniffing out complex patterns the others might miss. They all kind of vote, and the final prediction is based on their consensus. It's like having a whole panel of expert analysts all packed into one machine. Super robust.
But of course, every hero needs a villain. And in our story, it's not another team, it's not some superstar player, it's the weather. It is the one variable that can just walk onto the pitch and completely tear up the script that the data has so carefully written.
And this number, this says it all. In matches with high humidity and nasty wind, teams score, on average, 12% fewer goals. And that's not just a tiny little dip, you know. That is a tactical black hole. That number represents all the passes that go nowhere, the sprints that get cut short, and the perfect goal-scoring chances that are literally blown off course.
And here is a perfect, real-world example. So back in March 2023, Spectre was sure. It was calling for a 3-1 Brighton win, backed up by a solid 2.7 expected goals. But the weather had other plans. We're talking 38-mile-per-hour wind gusts that turned the game into a total lottery. Crosses were literally becoming boomerangs. The final score? A shocking 1-0 win for Bournemouth. The data was sound, but the atmosphere completely took over.
And it's not just about the ball flying around weirdly. Think about the physical toll this takes. Players can't sprint as often, and it takes them longer to recover. The ball skids on a wet pitch, making that first touch an absolute nightmare. That high-energy press the teams love? Totally unsustainable in thick, humid air. And for the goalkeepers, a swirling wind turns every single high ball into a complete guessing game. The whole tactical structure of the game just falls apart.
Okay, so let's apply this to our first match we're going to look at. Wolves versus Leeds at Molineux. Now here, the algorithm is going up against an atmosphere that's thick with humidity and that swirling wind we talked about. It's pretty much the perfect laboratory for our whole data versus chaos experiment.
So, if we look purely at the numbers, the underlying data, Spectra sees a really clear advantage for Wolves. An expected goals of 2.14 is pretty significant for them. But why is it so high? Well, it's not because they've suddenly become this amazing attacking force. It's mostly because Leeds is dealing with some major defensive injuries, which makes them really vulnerable.
But here is the massive twist. Despite that big XG advantage for Wolves, just look at the most likely outcome. A draw at a huge 43.6%. That is the weather factor in action. The models see the potential for chaos, the wind, the slick pitch, and they pull back, they hedge their bets. They know that in these kinds of conditions, a clear advantage on paper can just melt away into a messy midfield battle. This is the AI version of a shrug.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? You've got one team, Wolves, who already struggles to convert their chances, and another team, Leeds, whose entire game plan could be thrown out the window by the conditions. So what's the result? A predicted stalemate born from both teams' weaknesses getting cranked up to 11 by the weather.
Now for our second case study, and this one is a fantastic counterpoint. We're heading over to the Stadium of Light, Sunderland hosting Aston Villa. And get this, the weather here is even worse. We're talking 36-mile-per-hour gusts. But this time the data is so strong, it's predicted to just punch right through all that chaos.
I mean, the difference here is just massive. Aston Villa, who are almost at full strength, are projected at an elite 2.78 expected goals, and this is away from home. Sunderland, on the other hand, is just wrecked by injuries, especially on defense. Their 1.80 XG is what the model calls padded, meaning it's expected to come from scrambles and hope, not structured quality play.
So, compare this to that last chart we looked at. Despite even worse weather, the models are not shrugging here. No, they are yelling. A 68% chance of an Aston Villa win is wildly confident. So what does that tell us? It suggests that the gap in pure quality and tactical structure between these two teams is just too big for the weather to even matter. The underlying signal from the data is way stronger than the atmospheric noise.
And this is exactly why. Villa's system has real depth, multiple ways they can hurt you, they have tactical layers. Sunderland, with all those injuries, is just plugging holes. They're basically held together with duct tape. The models see this fundamental weakness, and they figure that even a gale-force wind can't fix a broken defensive structure.
So, after walking through these two really different situations, what's the big picture here? What's the final forecast when we talk about this clash between clean data and total chaos?
At the end of the day, I think this teaches us to see these amazing models like Spectra as a tool, not as some kind of magical crystal ball. Its greatest power isn't always in just picking a winner, it's in measuring the doubt. In that Wolves match, it quantified the weather's impact by cranking up the probability of a draw. And that's where the real genius is, in understanding the level of chaos.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? When all the numbers, all the analytics point in one direction, but you can see the storm clouds rolling in, where do you place your faith? In the elegant certainty of the algorithm? Or in the beautiful, unpredictable chaos of the game itself? It's something to think about next time you check the forecast right before the whistle.